Hello, it's me again. It's Pat here to read more. The OBS is mirrored, that's why that threw me off. But I'm here to react and read two more chapters. I snuck back on here because John hates anyone else having fun. So I snuck on here, but without his knowledge. And we're gonna read the new chapters of My Hero Academia and Jujutsu Kaisen. So we're gonna jump back into those, see if there's anything worth reacting to. Um, the color spread, the header on Shonen Jump's website is Itadori going up against Sukuna, it looks like. So I figured I'd jump in. There might be something worth reacting to. So we're gonna start My Hero Academia chapter 405. Looks like they're on break next week, which just serves me just fine. But we're gonna start there. All right. So we see a bunch of panels just cut across. We see All Might with a look of, I can't believe this just fucking happened. You have All for One looking like, or no, that's Shigaraki, sorry. He's like, what the fuck just happened? You have All for One smiling. You have Deku being like, what the fuck just happened? And Bakugo's like, let's fucking do this. He's still got the eyes, so yeah, I'm definitely thinking he's got All for One, or One for All with him. So this isn't what when it was supposed to happen, Night Eye. No, it was All Might. This was where your dream died. Fate was reshaped, you see. We're having a little bit of a conversation between Night Eye and All Might. What's true is that the dream did end here, and your promise is intact. But everyone knows the old master is meant to die after passing on the torch. You've read too many comic books, Toshinori Yagi. This is what I'm making my own hallucination. This is what I'm making my own hallucination say? You're a hero, but you're also human. You can't possibly die so readily. So, cutting back to the present, everyone's like, what? A blasting quirk? They're all just watching Bakugo save All Might. Isn't that him? The one the Lee kidnapped? What was his name again? They tied him up at the sports festival. Bakugo, and those might be the kids from the remedial lessons. No. Oh, I recognize him though. But you see him just standing on a rooftop, sizzling, bombs are going off, little mini explosions going off around him. And All Might's just lying on the ground behind him. He's saying, Bakugo, kid, are you okay? And Bakugo's like, that's my line, you banged up bag of bones. And just spits up an immense amount of blood. Blurg. He's using the teleportation quirk, is what it is. It's not blood. I believe it's my line as well. Oh, it's Headshot. And All Might's like, what? And you see a little tail fly out of Bakugo. And Headshot, they're like, Headshot, I forced you to expel the pool of blood within. That should grant you some relief. So he hops out. Your marred organs and broken bones. I use my own body to mend them with bowline knots, courtesy of the hidden Hakamata style. Those repairs will not come unraveled. Yet every breath you take will inflict hellish agony. Your body demands not action, but rest. Bakugo's just holding his hand over his chest. Yeah, got it. Thanks for bringing me back, senpai. And Headshot's like, I only held you together. Now we're cutting away. Now we're getting a little bit of a flashback. Despite my success in forcibly restarting his heart and lungs, the spark of life would not return. My Ninpo thousand sheet piece zenith is a transformation that eats away at my very life force. At a point beyond my limits, as I was forced to weigh my own life against Bakugo's, I saw it rushing through his bloodstream. None other than something produced by Bakugo's body moments before his death. A tiny bead of sweat. In his bloodstream? Okay. And we see it exploding. I only held you together. What brought you back was the power you've honed. Anyway, I assumed you'd be tangling with All for One, but who's the glowing ground I'm about to destroy? Okay, that's Bakugo. Anyway, I assumed you'd be tangling with All for One, but who's the glowing ground I'm about to destroy? Right the first time, kid. That is All for One. Your arm, please. I'm paralyzed by blood curdle. He's like, huh? This won't do its original job anymore, but it can still serve as a brace. Great explosion, murder god, dynamite. Did he just... No, he's just taking the gadget off. Okay. It's going from All Might's arm to Bakugo's arm. I wish I could give you more. And Bakugo just smiles, and it's really heartwarming, honestly. But meanwhile, All for One's kind of floating around. You see a bunch of veins bulging out of his head. He's like, "No, that can wait. After coming this far, one for all, my brother will be mine. That requires an uncompromised hijacking of Tomura's all too powerful will. I'll have to grant him my quirk and me with it. If only the me within him already could have wrested away the reins. Oh, how it boils the blood. How can it be?" We're seeing a bunch of heroes just like, from from this fight, I think, just bloodied and beaten. Um, that the gears have gone so awry. And we're seeing more cuts of heroes coming in clutch throughout this entire war. Like you see Endeavor, you see Hawks, you see Tokoyami, you see some of the kids from Shiketsu High. You even see Mineta, which it seems a little odd, but there's All Might at the end. All for One's like just upside down like this. He's just smiling. He's like, "Eek." And Bakugo comes in. "I'm the final boss, All for One. The wind was meant to blow my way." He's getting some static. Might be a little bit of a flashback there. And he comes in, major explosion. "One for all couldn't keep you in the ground, but we'll finish the job and then some." So yeah, Bakugo just booms him into the ground, and that's the end of My Hero Academia, chapter 405. It's hype as fuck. Let's go, dude. Wowie, wowie, wowie. Uh, Man, I'm curious. Oh, looking at comments saying the kids from the second movie. Maybe those were the kids I recognize. I haven't seen the second movie in a long time. We're gonna go back. We're gonna go back. Yeah, that's probably who those are. Hold on, we're gonna pull up the visual. Hold on. Kids, two. Images. Yeah, that's them. No kidding. Mahoro and Katsuma. Yeah, that's them, all right. They're really just laying it on that, like, hey, maybe he does have all for one. Or, sorry, one for all. Maybe he does have one for all. Mm, After this chapter, I'm a little less convinced, but at the same time, seeing those kids there makes me think he does. Um, I'm very interested to see just where this goes. Our lines are drawn. Deku's gonna focus on Shigaraki. Bakugo's gonna focus on All for One. Um, Clearly, we got to resolve that first because the final fight has to be Deku and Shigaraki. I think that's just my 2 grains of salt. Um, yeah, I'm curious. He's got the new gadget from All Might now. He's got a little bit of a power up. I think it's a little odd that Bakugo is the one that brought himself back to life. I don't know if I love that. That seems a little bit of an ass pull, if you will. Like we need some excuse for him to bring himself back to life to show that his efforts weren't for nothing. Like I get the intentions behind it, certainly. It's just I don't know. Maybe we could have done a little bit better with that. Um, but yeah, overall, this was a really solid chapter. I think that little nitpick aside, I think seeing the conversation between All Might and Night Eye, saying how his prediction was technically still right, even though fate was reshaped. I think that's a neat little conversation. I'll probably be studying that a little bit more. I don't know really what to make of that honestly, but it's a sweet little moment seeing Night Eye again having a conversation with All Might, even if it is just his own hallucination. But overall, just solid chapter, really good. I'm a little more convinced that Horikoshi will be able to land this ship. I think he has the emotional, poignant moments lined up, and he could knock this out with a grand sandwich, but we'll see. He's getting here was rough. Getting here was rough. But I do think he'll be able to land the ship in a decent enough manner. So I'm very curious to see where we go. We're on a break next week, so we gotta wait a little bit, and that's fine. Because guess what? Jujutsu Kaisen is not on break next week. Wow! All right, chapter 240. If you recall, last week we cut away from the fight with Sukuna to show Takaba, none other than Takaba, go up against Kinjaku. Is that where we're gonna pick up here? I mean, the big spread on Shonen Jump's website was Itadori and Sukuna, so maybe not. Maybe not. We'll see. All right, color spread. Oh, it looks like you're going back to Sukuna. No, it's the chapter title is Foolish Survivor Live On. So we'll see what that means. But right off the gate, we get a color spread. And we got to talk about Yuji. I'm just gonna call him Yuji coming forward. Itadori is too many syllables. But we have Yuta there with his sword. We have Hikari there just chilling, and then you have Maki over there with her sword. Uh, and then Yuji has a red arm, and he's unwrapping some bandages on it. And you see something like coiled around his arm, and it's definitely alluding to maybe his new ability set that he's going into this fight with Kenjaku with. I'll be very curious to see if we get any sort of reveal for that this week. But anyway, oh well, there's Angel right off the bat. Interesting. I'm gonna take a quick swig of water. I've been talking a lot. I didn't put timestamps in last week's video, but I'm going to this week for sure. Maybe. So right off the bat, we have Angel talking. We should attack Kenjaku before the fight between Gojo and Sukuna ends. You have Yuta, you have a bunch of people listening in. Kusakabe, Akari, and then Mei are all there listening. Beating Sukuna won't mean anything if Kenjaku achieves his goal of merging the people of Japan with Tengen. Akari's like, judging from Kenjaku's addition to the rules, eradicating all players may be a condition of ending the culling game. Then why worry? Akari Senpai and I are players, so as long as we're fighting Sukuna, Kenjaku can't achieve his objective. That's Yuta saying that. And then Kusakabe is like, if we defeat Sukuna only for our players to get annihilated, interfering would be senseless. He's just thinking this. Miwa's a player, but she doesn't participate in the fighting, so there's no reason to be so negative. What if Gojo loses and Kenjaku's group launches a surprise attack? That'd suck if we had our hands full of Sukuna. Angel's like, even if they didn't, and we narrowly beat Sukuna while Gojo loses, we'd be in a bad way when facing Kenjaku. There's a possibility that Sukuna will do to us what we're trying to do to him. Kusakabe's like, if we surprise him with just one fighter, is that a typo? Anyway, maybe Zenin would have a chance. But we shouldn't divide our forces before fighting Sukuna. Besides, our assassin would need to be up to the task, and even though we grade 1 sorcerers are competent, we're underqualified. And Mei's like, doesn't that mean you're incompetent then? And he's like, oh, come on. She's like, I have a record of running away, so don't count on me. And Angel's like, I nominate Fumihiko Takaba. Everyone's like, the fuck? Kari's like, that one goofy player? Kusakabe's like, that guy with his junk half exposed? Angel's explaining it could have a bad effect on his curse technique, so don't tell anyone what I'm about to say. Not even Takaba himself. His curse technique is, and we're cutting to the Kenjaku fight. He's like, he did it again. It's a tune, so I'm totally youch. And you see his eyes are like all stylized and stuff. You see a bunch of centipede millipedes crawling on him. This is just goofy. I love this. I'm glad we're getting more of this. Kenjaku's like, he's making a mockery of my curse techniques. That line wasn't in the source material. Long-haired boy, you just activated my trap card. Where do you get the fucking... It seems this player can manifest phenomena. Hmm? He can create and control the things he imagines. So if I'm not careful, he takes off the bandana and the sunglasses, and Takaba's like, no, that looks good on you. My jujutsu will have no effect, despite all the knowledge I've gained across 1,000 years. This would be poetic. If a person who got his curse technique from Kenjaku is able to beat Kenjaku in such a goofy way. What a pesky player, but every curse technique has a weakness. Who are you? And he's pointing to himself, Fumihiko Takaba with Nabe Nabe Entertainment. I ain't bragging, but last year I made first round of P1. And that's apparently a competition for determining the best stand-up comedian in Japan. So he made the first round. Didn't win it, though. Isn't the only funny thing about P1 how poorly handled it is? This is Kenjaku. And he's like, you just pissed off every single comedian. I suppose you wanted me to say, but that means you didn't advance past the first round. Or even amateurs past the first round. You crap monk, so you belong to Nabe Nabe. I assumed you were in Pony. Everyone says that, but I admired a certain comic. He's like, I need a mental reset. I grew up watching Laughing Dog. And Kenjaku's like, hey, I can actually have a conversation with this guy. Not the show vocabula. I guess that's obvious, though. It's not obvious. I don't know what they're talking about. Maybe this dude actually likes comedy. This is Takaba thinking this. So why are you doing this? What do you mean by this? Making people kill each other and merge and give birth to monsters and stuff. And he's like, because it sounds entertaining. I've already had this conversation today. The short answer is that I'm intellectually curious. So would you give up if you found something more interesting? And Kajaki's like, possibly. And Taka was like, ha! Make me laugh if you can. It's written on your face. And Kajaku suddenly has a mirror, is suddenly looking at the words make me laugh written on his face. And he's like, what? Is this part of his joke? Okay, I'll do a simple gag. This is Takaba again. It's copyright free, so go ahead and use it as your own. And written on Kajaku's face is the words, I'm curious, but it looks like it's spelled wrong. I don't know if that's a translator error or something, but anyway. And Taka was doing his signature joke, don't marry me, I don't want you as my Wi-Fi. And Kajaku's just like, um, let me guess. You thought that up at a coffee shop or someplace when you were about to connect with crappy Wi-Fi. Takaba's like, whoa, spot on. Of course, I'm a pro. At what? Folks in front of the TV at home might not get that joke. For example, take Haranishi's joke about how you can't stand up if you pull out your backbone. It's a quick joke with a setup and a punchline, but your Wi-Fi joke is only a punchline, and that just won't cut it. I love this. And Taka was like, it really sucks when someone who gets it rejects your joke logically. Now we're in a classroom. Somehow. Jack is like, you're only amusing yourself. Doing comedy with you is no fun. Consider your audience when crafting your jokes. And we're done here. And he's elbowing Takaba in the gut and he's flying back. And he's like, I can tell that one actually landed. Activating his curse technique may require confidence and certainty. Whatever, you're just a whatever, you're just a poser who's never been on stage. It doesn't matter if you don't get my jokes, as long as other people do. And Kenjaku's like, are you sure you should be the one saying that? And you just see him with a look of shock on his face, and he's just like, let's have a staring contest. He who laughs loses. Ready, set, go. And he's making like a weird face. Like, meanwhile, Kenjaku's like touching his tongue to his nose, and he's pulling up his head, and you see a little bit of the brain in there. It's a goofy looking face. And Takaba squirts out of his nose. And Kenjaku's punching him. He's like, look that away. And he goes flying. No fair, man. It was a staring contest. He's just punching him. He's like, no fair. Is this amateur funnier than me? Now that I think about it, it is humorous for a handsome guy with fair and delicate features to have long hair and wear a monk's robe. What's with those forehead stitches? All that together is actually hilarious. Two types of comics will always be in demand. Comics who are funny, comics who think they're funny. It's okay. I am funny. I'm funny. I'm. And he sees the guy from last week who could throw body parts that explode, and I'm blanking on his name right now. And you just see a look of like sadness over him. And Kajaku appears behind him and says, what's wrong? Go on. Laugh. You're an entertainer, aren't you? And Taka was like, this ain't funny. Doing comedy with you is no fun. If we don't laugh, then why would the audience? Why did I ever become an entertainer? So this isn't looking good for Takaba. Kenjaku's single-handedly poked a hole in his curse technique. So this is actually really bad. Really fucking bad. Um, um, I'm curious though, because we did cut away pretty quickly from Takaba, from revealing Takaba getting his curse technique reveal. Um, I'm very curious to see what Angel means by that. Because clearly Angel knows something we don't. And I don't know if that's referring to Takaba before his confidence gets shattered, or there's still something left that he has to reveal. So I don't know what the deal is there. I'm curious to see. I think we get maybe a couple more chapters of this. I don't think Takaba takes down Kenjaku here. But maybe he does. Maybe his curse technique is enough to turn the tables here. Um, I do. This was a really fun chapter, and I'm glad I reacted to it. But man, I don't want Takaba to die. I don't know if that's a hot take. I don't know if people like Takaba, but I really like Takaba. He's hilarious. Um, I did really appreciate, and I don't know if it's just because of the Yu-Gi-Oh reference he had here. Putting the Bandit Keith outfit on Kenjaku like that, and he's saying you activated my trap card. Like Takaba's god tier, man. He's the best. I freaking love this guy. I don't want him to die. I am concerned for him at the end here. He did. I don't like seeing him with that serious, concerned, depressed face. Um, so we'll see how this plays out. I am concerned. But yeah, overall, I mean, there's really not much to comment on it. This entire chapter was the fight outside of, the little bit of talking at the beginning between the groups. Man, I want to see what's up with Yuji though. It's man, it got us by the balls. I want to know what's up with his arm. Man, big Takaba fan though. This chapter only endeared me to him. I really like getting more of an insight to Kenjaku here. I don't know if he means half of what he's saying here, but it is effective. Even if it doesn't say anything about his character through what he's saying, the fact that he's able to poke holes in Takaba's confidence like this, it speaks to volumes of just how cunning and clever that Kenjaku is. Not that we really needed any reminder of that, but the fact that he's knowledgeable like this on stand-up comedy is very funny. They threw a lot of names around for the Japanese comic scene, I'm sure, and that's probably why I didn't get that. Um, yeah, like growing up watching Laughing Dog, I assumed you were in Pony. I don't know what any of that means, so that's probably a local thing over there. Um, yeah, no, this is a fun fight. This is a really fun fight, even if it's not going the way I want right now. I'm hoping there's a turnaround here. Maybe him asking why did I ever become an entertainer awakens his, or not awakens his curse technique. Maybe that allows him to tap into that. I really don't know. I don't want this to be an attack, but it could be. Or maybe have someone else waiting in the wings like Maki or something. Um, it would be fitting if Narutoshi Kamo showed up. I don't think he's up to the level of Kenjaku here, but I do think that'd be fitting if he had some sort of blow against him. But at the same time, you probably see him coming a mile away with his cursed energy. So, yeah, no, I don't really have a whole lot to say here. This is mostly an action chapter, but I did really like it. I'm not sure where we're going with this. I think we're gonna try and deal with Kenny first. I don't know. We're definitely distracting him. Maybe that gives us enough time to take out Sukuna, but at the same time, Sukuna is probably stronger than Kenny. Um, I hesitate to say that because they are probably both fairly strong, but Sukuna is a bigger threat, and I think that'll be the last fight. So I think we're gonna take out Kenny first. I don't know how, um, or when. I don't know. I don't know. I just generally don't know. I'm curious to see how this plays out, though. Let's see. We only have to wait a week. Only have to wait a week. So yeah, that's probably gonna do it then. I'm gonna sign off here. If you liked what I do, if you like what we do here, we stream every time there's a new One Piece chapter. I will do a video like this for My Hero and JJK since they're both in great spots right now. Um, but we'll definitely be reacting to these chapters as they come out, and schedules permitting. Schedules permitting, of course. Um, because I can't guarantee I'll be always available to do these, but yeah, we usually stream Monday, Thursdays, and then sometimes on the weekend. Like I did an Amnesia stream this last weekend. You can check that out. That's fully public. We'll be doing maybe a couple other spooky streams either tonight or Tuesday. And yeah, no, this is we stream Monday, Thursday. Catch us there. And if you don't, we got videos, we got plenty of stuff you can watch. We got a lot of back content you can watch. Um, yeah, got some good stuff in the pipeline coming up. We're talking, we're plotting and planning. So but yeah, until then, keep it up. Where's the end stream button?